Hello Year 1, Mrs Francis here. Welcome to session 4 of your online English lessons with me. Now, in the last session, in the last few sessions, we've been looking at this book by Oliver Jeffers, How to Catch a Star. And in the last session that we did together, we looked at some new trickier vocabulary, trickier language that we had come across in the book and how to use it. And we also had a go at making our sentences longer by talking about all the reasons that his attempts to catch the star didn't work. He tried lots of different ways, didn't he, to catch that star, and every time he tried, something went wrong, something didn't work. So that's what we did last time. Today I'll just share my screen with you so that you can see what the plan is for today. So make that a bit bigger. You can see that today we're going to be doing a little bit more of a phonics warm-up to warm up our brains, looking at different ways of spelling the long E sound that we looked at in the last session, but with a new way of spelling it. And we are also going to be coming up with our own ideas for how to catch the star. Do you remember at the end of the last session, I said to you right at the end, go and have a think between now and next time about all the different ways that you could think of to catch the star, because the little boy in the book didn't have much luck, did he? He couldn't catch the star so far in the book. He hasn't been able to. All of the ways he tried didn't work. So I said to you, go away and have a think about some different ways that maybe he could try. So we're going to be looking at that today, looking at our own ways to try and catch the star, and we're going to be making our own sentences using those ideas, okay? So as always, to start with, let's have a look at the things that you will need. So as always, you need your good sitting. So you need something comfortable to sit on, either a nice comfy chair or the floor. As long as you're sitting comfortably, you need your watching eyes, your listening ears, and something to write with and something to write on. So a pen or a pencil or a whiteboard pen, and some paper, or maybe you've got a whiteboard like I've got here. Okay, so if you don't have those things now, same as always, pause the video, go and get all your bits and pieces, and then come back and you can press play once you're ready to go. Okay. Okay, now that you've got all of the things that you need, let's get our brains warmed up with a bit of a phonics warm-up. So we were looking yesterday, or the last session, whenever you did the last session, at the long E sound. And we looked at these top two ways, didn't we? We looked at the E and the A to make the long E sound, and the double E, E for the long E sound. But today we're also going to look at when we use an EY for that E sound. So on the end of a word, usually this spelling of the E sound makes a long E sound as well, okay? So we're going to have a look at 3 things which all use that spelling of the long E sound. So they all have EY on the end, all 3 of these things. And can you have a look and can you tell me what you can see? Okay, can you see that we've got a key, we've got a chimney on the top of a house, and we've got a donkey at the bottom. Donkey looks like he's having a munch on some grass there. So we've got a key, a chimney, and a donkey. Okay, you now need to get your piece of paper or your whiteboard, and I'm going to show you one of these pictures, and I want you to have a go at writing out the word, remembering that we are looking at this way of making that E sound. Okay, are you ready? Can you write that word down for me? I'm going to do it at the same time as you. Key. And can you also do your dots and dashes or your sound buttons or your sausages and beans on the bottom of that word as well? Okay, ready? Can you show me what you've written? You should have something like this. E, key. Okay, are you ready for the next one? Remembering that we're looking, you rub off that one, we're looking at this sound on the end of the word, okay? this spelling for the long E sound. Next one, donkey. Can you write how you think that word would be spelt? Donkey. I'm going to do it at the same time as you. Off you go. And remember to do your dots and dashes or your sound buttons or your sausages and beans along the bottom. Okay, you ready? Let's have a look for the word donkey. Have you got something like this? Look, donkey. Can you see we've got that long E sound at the end with the E and the Y, donkey. Okay, and one more. Can you remember the word was chimney? I'm going to do it at the same time. Remember, we're using this spelling for these words. Chimney. Sound it out and write it on your piece of paper or your whiteboard. Okay, are you ready? Okay, can you see we've got our sound buttons on the bottom again? We've got ch, it, e, chimney. Okay, good job. Right, the next job that we're going to do is to try and write some sentences using these 3 words. Okay, so what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to pause the video and I'd like you to write me a sentence for each of those pictures. So a sentence using the word key, a sentence using the word chimney, and a sentence using the word donkey. Okay, and don't forget you need your capital letter and your full stop at the end. Okay, so you're going to pause the video and then have a go at doing your sentences. Okay, remembering that EY on the end for that long E sound. Okay, ready to pause? Off you go. Okay, ready to get going again. Have you written your 3 sentences? And have you checked that you've got a capital letter at the beginning of each of your sentences and a full stop at the end? You might have written something like, I use a key to get in my house. You might have written something like, Santa comes down the chimney at Christmas. And you might have written something like, the donkey is eating the grass. Okay, right. Next job, similar to the one that we did on the last session, we're going to split our whiteboard or our piece of paper into 3 sections. Okay, we've got our long E sound here and our other ways of doing our long E sound at the top. So we've got our 3 ways of doing the long E sound. Okay, so just pause the video while you draw your table like this with your 3 sections in it. Okay, you draw those 3 boxes with the 3 different E sounds. So just pause while you do that. Okay, your next job is going to be to put the words that you can see underneath into the right section on those boxes. Okay, so we've got donkey, beach, teach, leap, sea, as in the sea that you would swim in, key, cheek, chimney, and keep. Okay, so I'd like you to pause the video and I'd like you to write the words into each box. See if you can do your sound buttons or your dots and dashes or your sausages and beans for each of them as well. Okay, off you go. Okay, are you ready? Have a look and see whether you've put them in the right box. Now, just as an extra one, because I've had a think while you've been doing your adding your words in, have a look at these 2 words. Can you see them? Can you see? We've got the word see and the word sea. They're the same word. They're homophones. They're the same word, but they have a different E sound. A different E spelling, not a different E sound. We've got C with the double E, and we've got C with the EA. So this type of C, the way that I always remember it, is I draw two little eyes in it. And that's the type of C that we do with our eyes. This type of C is the kind that has waves. It's the sea that we swim in. Okay. So if we had the word sea, we would also put that in the first column. So just have a little look and see. In the first box, your double E box, we should have keep and cheek. In the middle box, we should have teach, beach, leap, and see. And in our third box, we should have those three words with those EY endings: donkey, chimney, and key. Okay. Just check you put all of those in the right place. Okay, right, I'm going to rub off my whiteboard so that I'm ready to go. Now, do you remember that the boy tried to catch the star in lots of different ways? Just going to very quickly show you some pictures so that we can quickly run through. So the first one was him jumping, wasn't he? He jumped to try and catch the star. He climbed a tree and stretched up to try and catch a star. He used, can you remember that word that we used? He lassoed with his life belt. That didn't work because it was too heavy. He tried to use his spaceship. Can you remember what had happened to his spaceship? Why couldn't he use it? It had run out of petrol, hadn't it? And then finally, he asked a seagull for help, didn't he? He asked a seagull for help, but the seagull didn't want to. He tried all sorts of different ways to try and catch the star, and you can see them there. Okay, I'm going to pause. I want you to pause the video. And while it's paused, I want you to go through each picture and tell me, or tell whoever you're with, if you've got an adult or if you've got a brother or sister with you. If not, you can just tell me what all the different attempts were that he made to try and catch the star. Okay, so what are those 5 pictures showing? What did he do to try and catch the star? Pause the video now. Okay, good job. He tried all those different ways, didn't he? Now, I want you to have a think. If it was you trying to catch the star, what would you do? All those ways that he tried didn't work. I'm going to show you some objects on the screen, and I want you to have a think. How could you use those objects to help you catch the star? Okay, you ready for the first one? Oh, what's there? I'll do this one with you as the first one. I can see that there's a trampoline. How could I use a trampoline to help me catch a star? Maybe some of you have been on a trampoline. You bounce on it, don't you? And it helps you bounce really, really high. Maybe you could bounce on a really big trampoline to get you really high in the sky to see if you could catch a star. That might work. I'm going to show you another option now. There's a crane with a digger. Can you pause the video and tell me how you might use that digger or that crane to catch a star? Okay, maybe you could get in the digger and you could get the digger to stretch up really high, and then that hook bit would hook the star out of the sky. That might work, mightn't it? Ready for the next one? Ooh. Now, there was a seagull in the story, wasn't there? The seagull didn't want to help. How could we use this bird to help us catch the star? Pause the video and tell me. Okay. Some great ideas. Maybe we could get a bird to fly up to the star to try and catch it. Next one, we've got a bit of rope. How could we do that? What could we use the rope for? Maybe we could use the rope like the boy tried to do in the story with a lasso. We could make a lasso and try and get the star. Or we could use the rope to help us climb something really tall, maybe. Have a look at another one. We've got a slingshot, a paper aeroplane, a fishing net, and a diving board. I want you to, in a minute, pause the video and just have a think about how you could use each of those objects to help you catch a star. If you'd like to, you could write some ideas down as sentences, or you could draw some pictures to help you. Okay, so I'd like you to pause the video now and have a think about some of those bottom ideas there, the slingshot, the paper aeroplane, the fishing net and the diving board. How could you use some of those to help you catch a star? Ready to pause it now. Okay, some really good ideas there. And I bet you've got some other ways as well, not using those objects. I bet you've thought of all sorts of ones that you could come up with for how to catch a star. Now, we're going to do some sentence building, okay? How would you try and catch a star? Let's look at this picture there. What would we put in this sentence? I want you to make sure you've got your pen and your pencil ready, pen or pencil and paper ready. It says, I would, to try and catch a star. Can you fill in the gap in that sentence using that picture to help you? Pause the video and write your sentence. Okay, what have we got? I would jump high on a trampoline to try and catch a star. Ready for the next one? How could we use a paper aeroplane? Maybe we could try and fly it really, really high up into the sky to knock the star out of the sky. Ready to pause the video and you can fill in the sentence. I would to try and catch a star. Pause it now. Okay, what did you put in your sentence? I would to try and catch a star. Maybe you put something like this. I would send a paper aeroplane to try and catch a star. Ready for the next one? The diving board here. Okay, I would something to try and catch the star. Can you try and fill in that sentence for me? I would to try and catch a star. Ready to pause the video now. Okay, what did your sentence say? I would jump off a tall diving board to try and catch a star. Maybe it was something like that. Or I would climb a really high diving board to try and catch a star. What about this one here? Got a fishing net. Now this time I haven't given you the whole sentence. I've just given you the first two words. We've got the words I would. Okay, so I would like you to finish that sentence for me. Think about how you would try and catch a star using that net. Okay, ready to pause the video? And then we'll check in a minute. So pause the video now. Okay, let's have a look. What's your sentence say? I would what? Maybe it's something like mine. I would stretch up with a really long net to try and catch the star. Or maybe you said something like, I would use a fishing net to trap the star. Okay. Just stop sharing that one there. Okay, year one, you've done a really, really good job today coming up with your own sentences for your own ideas for how to catch the star. Maybe now you could have a quick go at writing some of your own sentences with your own ideas. So we looked at using some different objects, but maybe you've got some completely different ideas for how the little boy could try and catch a star. Okay, if you do, what I'd like you to do is to have a go at writing some of your own sentences with your own brilliant ideas, because I'm sure you've got lots of them. Okay, now what we're going to be doing tomorrow, or in the next session, whenever you can log on for the next session, is we are going to be having a look again on our last session of How to Catch a Star. It's the last time we're going to be looking at this book. And we're going to be having a little think about some of the verbs in this book, some of the doing words, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing next time, okay? But keep thinking about all those brilliant ideas for some suggestions that you would have for how to catch the star, okay? Because we will be needing those again, okay? Very, very well done today, and I will see you again very soon, okay? Bye-bye.